sinners and saints. Dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alley After Dark.
Well, hello, sinners, saints, bitches, whores, sluts, pole vaulters. Smokers. Benders, shirt flap lifters. All the chimichangas you can munch on. Whatever that means to. What the hell? What would your reaction be if I told you that I was recording this episode totally naked?
Oh, God!
Damn, you didn't have to be that harsh. I'm not doing that. I can't imagine, much less want to experience the feeling of my bare ass sitting down in this leather chair. Jesus Christ, that would be most uncomfortable, I'd imagine. I really do have to hand it to Bruce Jenner. Yes, I misidentify him because he has done more to damage the transgender community than anybody I can think of in recent years, aside from the Republican Party itself. But he is a Republican as well. He is in the news again. And just when you think that he can't stoop any lower, he has the gall to actually complain directly to the orange turd that his renewed passport has his gender marker as male. And he wants it changed because he's Caitlyn now. I guess his argument is that the rules should apply to everybody else that's transgender, but not to him. I guess because he's thrown so much money at the orange turd that apparently can buy you whatever you want. And boy, isn't it a kick in the rubber parts when you realize that you've been played for a fool and all that money you spent didn't buy you diddly squat. I think Bruce, aka Caitlyn, deserves a taste of his own medicine. When are they going to learn that greed and money aren't the foundation of true happiness, and to think that you could buy your way around the law that they've created, even though in most cases that does work? But when it comes to something like this, no bitch, you were just played for a fool, and now you're reaping the rewards of your callous millionaire attitude. Fuck you, Bruce. Just fuck you. And not in a good way. I just can't get over the gall you have, Brucey boy, to lament over a law that you seem to be applauding when you were on Fox News all those times, bragging about how you really weren't a woman, even though you say you are a woman. I wish I could understand you fucks. I really do. I wish I could understand why you believe that you can say one thing and do another. You want acceptance from the community, but when the community needs you, you just walk all over them, spit in their face. And so I applaud the fact that you might be getting taught a lesson. Maybe you will learn something finally and understand the damage that you've done. But anyway, fuck you and let's get on with it. One of the best things about self-checkout, and there's not very many things that's good about it, but it does give you a bit of privacy when you are purchasing things that are more intimate, like lube, condoms, enemas, douches, whatever you use for your preparedness kit for sex or whatever else. It's great that you can just check it out yourself, put it in the bag, and you don't get those judgy eyes looking at you when they scan it across the barcode scanner and look at you. I remember the good old days when you didn't have self-checkout. And I wonder, in a lot of ways, especially here in the South, you are basically taught that everything about sex is sinful and dirty, and that it really is only supposed to be to create babies. And that's only if you're married in a heterosexual relationship. So especially when it comes to religion around here in the South, you really do get almost brainwashed into thinking that it's so dirty that you shouldn't, that there's something wrong with it, that it is something that you should be punished for if you do it. And I can really believe that people who might have wanted to purchase protection, get things that might help in their sexual adventures, that they would be less likely to do it when you had to face the glare and the stare and the disapproval of some skanky old heifer who's not had sex in 35 years and face the wrath of you being the object of gossip in the community when that cashier goes out in town and starts telling everybody that you bought condoms and lube and enemas. I can see that it really would make a difference in the way people approach their sex life. I'm not sure where that came from, but, whatever. Interesting thought, right? I guess that's what I like about a lot of things. I mean, I'm always negative about certain things, like self-checkout at stores. There is a positive side to it, your personal privacy, nobody up in your business. But of course, if I'm checking out with lube or condoms or douches or enemas, whatever, I mean, just saying, my luck would be that the price would be wrong or the register would mess up and the manager would have to come over to reset the register and would look down at what I'm buying and go, oh, well, not that I give a damn these days anyway. I would have given a damn back in the good old days if I was living back home and I try to purchase lube and condoms and things, because it would be all over town that I had bought these things. And I guess if I want to be honest, especially for the small communities in the South, if you're a gay man and you're in these small little country villages, the hookup apps are a lifeline to the community. You don't necessarily have to be hooking up for sex, which most guys do on those apps, but maybe you're just connecting with guys who could become friends, could be an outlet for you to express yourself. When you're in isolation like that, when it's almost feels like a prison when you're in these small towns and you're gay. I mean, it's hard to really put it into words how you feel. That emptiness, that sense of being alone, being the only gay person in the world. And it's true, I did too. I remember, and I've told this story several times, but I think it bears repeating, that first time going to a gay club and thinking that I would be one of like 4 or 5 people, maybe if I was lucky, and then was just blown away by the hundreds of people that were there. And that feeling of freedom and connection with the community, it's just something that I will never forget. I will never forget how happy I was that night. I was scared at first, but then exhilarated. And the hookup apps, Grindr, Growler, and so on and so on and so on, that is a positive when you think about these small towns all over the world. And you just have to be really careful with them just to make sure that the person you're talking with is really who they say they are and not some kind of fanatic person or government trying to track you down and execute you. I mean, shit like that happens, The other night, the subject at happy hour was Alan After Dark, believe it or not. One of my friends said something about, well, why don't you promote it more? Why aren't you out there really trying to boost your advertising? And I told him, I said, I really do like that Alan After Dark feels underground. And I also know that based on my ratings and my listenership, a lot of you are in places around the world that you can't be open and out. And maybe Alan After Dark is an extra lifeline for all of you in the Middle East, in Russia, in parts of Europe, in the United States, all these places where homosexuality is considered not only immoral, but in a lot of places illegal. And I think with it being underground like it is, it doesn't grab the attention of governments and these right-wing bigoted groups to become a target, at least not yet. And it gives me a lot of happiness to know that I am speaking to you in Syria or Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Russia. And it also pleases me that people are listening in Ukraine, where you're under such heavy attacks from the Russian dictator, and in places like Iran, where I know the community is being punished. I want to be a voice that you all can hear. I want you all to know that there are a lot of people in the United States that don't believe in what this government is doing here. We don't support it. We're adamantly opposed to it. And I want Alan After Dark to be a voice that can be heard around the world, so that you know that there are people here that are trying to change this country for the better. I know it's not easy, but if I can make just one of you smile every week, that's an accomplishment in my opinion. And it makes me very proud of what we've done so far. Damn, I didn't expect to get all melancholy this week. What's wrong with me? I guess I don't have enough booze in me or something. I know some of you are probably saying, bitch, you don't have enough dick in you. And I would agree with that, 100%. And I always tend to have a craving for trouser gravy after happy hour, but who wouldn't? I gotta say, sinners and saints, the other night at happy hour, there was this guy who come walking in, and I mean, let me just describe him this way. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's who he reminded me of. And when he comes in, he immediately caught my eye. And I was really kind of excited because I had a chair open beside me. Unfortunately, he went down to the other side and sat where it was a little bit more crowded. But I could look at him from where I sat and it not look so stalkerish or awkwardish, maybe. Unfortunately for me, this other guy who I've considered to be very rude and hateful, okay, a bitch, he happens to be sitting right beside him. And they started chatting. And I thought, what the hell? What do they have in common? Because he's such a hateful person. And I noticed that Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a wedding ring on. So I thought, he's married, so he must have a husband. Well, for some reason, he wanted, I don't know, I guess the bartender was chatting with him as well. And I guess he just showed him where the men's room was or something. I don't know for sure. But the bartender came out from around the bar and took him down toward where the men's room was. And I got a full view of him from behind. And I was like, damn, this guy is hot as hell. And when he came back, he sat right where he was before, and the bitch guy that was sitting beside him, one of his female friends come in, and all of a sudden he goes, hey girl, oh, this is my bestie, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you, yada, yada, yada. Literally a purse fell out of his mouth. He was so queeny when she came in, which is fine. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm just trying to describe the scene as it occurred. And I guess they were talking about gaming or something. But the more I sat there and I watched them, I was getting jealous. I was. And it's one of those things that I've mentioned before. And I just wish I could understand why I become that way. I thought, well, if he would have given me a chance and talked to me, I know that I can carry on a better conversation than that guy can. Oh, I wanted to do him so bad I couldn't stand it. And a friend of mine came in, and I think he noticed who I was staring at. I won't say staring, I was taking long glances at him. I guess he acknowledged that he was handsome, and I said, well, he's got a wedding ring on, and my friend said, he's married to a woman. And I said, you know that for a fact? He goes, I just have this instinct, and I think that he is married to a woman. Anyway, my jealousy was so strong that I stayed longer than I normally would have stayed. I was hoping that maybe bitch guy would leave and leave him alone, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the stupid, pathetic male ego where, based on my knowledge of this guy, the hot Joseph Gordon-Levitt guy deserved better. Maybe that's how I should put it. But I finally had to leave, so I left them behind, and I was just like, it burned me. And God, I wish I wasn't like that. So anyway, the next happy hour, I showed, I guess I should confess here. I did snap a picture of him when I got the chance, and I showed it to my friend Joe. And Joe said, oh, I know him. And he told me who he was and that he had been in the bar before. For some reason, that alleviated that jealousy. But it's also my own low self-esteem. I feel like I didn't have a chance with him anyway. And it just, I don't know. It becomes a frustrating male ego thing for sure. It was a bit of a relief knowing that he comes into the bar. I might actually get to see him again. And who knows what might happen. even though I have to acknowledge he did have on a wedding ring. And I'm just going to assume that nothing happened between the two. That's what it is, isn't it? It's just that guy, the bitch guy. It galls me to see him get someone who's hot. That's it, isn't it? I mean, I'm not sure what I wish for him otherwise. I should be happy that anybody's getting laid. If I'm not getting laid, at least somebody is, right? And once again, if I get too desperate, I've got a doorknob, you know. Yo, I'm just kidding about that. I can't believe how many people took that seriously. You really think I can shove a doorknob up my ass? Really? I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, Lord. When's happy hour? Jesus. Speaking of jealousy, I have noticed a lot of guys with really nice asses lately. I've mentioned it before. Back in my younger days, my ass was a symbol of pride for me. It was one of the nicest asses in this town. And let me just give you the heads up, sinners and saints. Time is very cruel, especially to your ass. For some reason, if you don't work out at a certain level, both weights and cardio, running, etc., you might still be thin, but for some reason, my ass has deflated. I don't know. It's just one of the areas of frustration that I deal with every day, knowing that one time in my life, I had an ass that people commented on to me, and now they're always asking, well, where did it go? You remember that time I told you when I'd gotten new jeans and Chadwick was going with me to happy hour, and as we're walking into the bar, I asked him, how does my ass look in these jeans? And he says, like you left it in the car. Yeah, that's my friends for you. No, I laugh too. But yeah, I'm jealous over all you hot guys out there with the nice asses. I know that I need to start doing extra squat thrusts and running the stairs and all that to improve my butt. I have one of my closest friends who's been working out for several months now, and his ass is like granite. It's amazing. And yes, I know, all I've got to do is work out. Yeah, that's all. Work out. Shit. Can you believe it? Here we are again at the end of another episode. Time really does fly when we're having so much fun. You're probably asleep though. I know that this can be quite boring, so forgive me if it is. We'll do better next week. At least I want to do better, and hopefully Bruce Jenner will not be part of the conversation. Yeah, I'm getting sick of talking about that asshole. But I digress. And after saying that, all I want you to do is to live, laugh, and love. Take life by the balls and be real. We'll see you soon.